Master Concepts about Inverse Trigonometric Functions with Anil Kumar. Enjoy the journey of learning. We have a brilliant question from one of our subscribers based on inverse trigonometric function, which is to evaluate the expression cos inverse of cos of 4 pi by 3. Let's see, how do we figure this out? So the expression given to us is cos inverse of cos of 4 pi by 3. Will it be 4 pi by 3 or not? Another thing which you need to think about is why it is not 4 pi by 3. So we're going to answer these questions also, which will give you complete concept. And to learn more right from the very beginning, follow our playlist where we discuss the lesson along with hundreds of examples. Perfect. So in any function or function, we should always begin with the inside function. So let's analyze what is cos 4 pi by 3. So here we have our quadrant. 4 pi by 3 means that you are in quadrant 3, correct? So that is 4 pi by 3. Now, as you know, the cos inverse function is actually defined in quadrants 1 and in quadrant 2. Since 4 pi by 3 lies in quadrant 3, the first step should be to write this as an equivalent trigonometric ratio with the argument, the angle, in quadrant 2. Because using the cost rule, you know that we have a negative value, right? So we'll try to rewrite this in quadrant 2, which you can see is actually 2 pi by 3, correct? So if you visualize this, you have the answer. But the challenge sometimes is how do we write this as cos of 2 pi by 3, right? So look at this step now. So the equivalent function here can be given as cos inverse of cos of, so it is same as 2 pi minus theta also, right? Because this is positive here. So 2 pi minus theta means 2 pi minus 4 pi by 3. And that gives you cos inverse of cos of 6 pi minus 4 pi as 2 pi by 3. Now, in many tests, these are very important steps to follow. Randomly just getting to the answer, you may lose communication marks, especially if you are an IB or AP student. So now we have cos inverse of cos 2 pi by 3, and now we are in quadrant 2, and therefore we can rewrite this as 2 pi by 3. You get the whole idea. That is how such questions should be solved. Make sense? Feel free to write a comment, share your views, and in case you want to really learn and understand the topics, you may send an email on globalmathinstitute@gmail.com. Our students are right there on the top, getting admission to the best universities. Question before us is cos of cot inverse 1 over square root 2. How do we solve this question? Strategy is simple, start from inside out. The inside function is cot inverse 1 over square root 2. It is a positive value. Cot can be positive in quadrant 1 and 3. But when we look into the inverse functions, we are always looking into the area, which is by default. So cot is defined within quadrant 1 and 4. And when we are saying that cot is 1 over square root 2, you should understand cot is a value. Let's say theta is basically equal to adjacent side over the opposite side. So this is the basic, correct? In our case, we are given this as 1 over square root 2. So if I make a triangle here, for example, right, then adjacent side is 1 and the opposite side will be square root 2, correct? So therefore, the hypotenuse is going to be square of square root 2, which is 2 plus 1 square root. So I'll rewrite this as square root 3. Perfect. So that becomes our triangle with the angle here as theta. Now, so we can see very clearly that cos inverse of 1 over square root 2 really means what? Correct. So it really means we could even write this as cos of cos what, right? So, so we could, let me rewrite this. Cos of cot inverse of 1 over square root 2 is equal to cos of, we need to write in terms of cosine only, right? Then we get our answer directly. Cos of what? So looking into this triangle, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so it should be 1 over cos inverse of 1 over square root 3, correct? Makes sense, right? Now cos of cos inverse 1 over square root 3, positive value, quadrant 1, should be 1 over square root 3. And that is how we get our solution. So I hope that is clear. Steps once again are start from inside. A inverse function will give you the angle, and we could also write this as another inverse function using the same triangle as we did. And if cos of something is there, then we should need to get cos of cos inverse something to get our answer as we did. And that's how you solve such questions. For details, follow our playlist where we have complete lesson with many examples. I hope that should help. The question here is based on inverse trigonometric functions. We have a playlist with more than 100 examples and a complete lesson to understand it from the very basic. You may follow that for details. Here, we are going to be short and precise. We need to evaluate sine of cot inverse 15 by 8. First and foremost, when we talk about cot and sine, we know that they are defined in the quadrants 1 and in quadrant 4. Since we are given the value cot inverse, let's look into the inside functions. Whenever you have the combined function or function types, inverse trigonometric functions start from inside out. So let's look into what is cot inverse of 15 by 8. So the idea is construct the triangle related to the sides mentioned. Cot, as you know, is base over opposite side. So base is 15. And so make your triangle. And in this triangle, we're talking about this angle theta. So cotangent theta. So theta is equal to this value 15 by 8. So in this right angle triangle, you can find the hypotenuse, which will be square root of 15 square plus 8 square. And that gives you a value of 17, correct? Now these are special triangles. You should know these numbers. Very few special triangles have all the three integer values like 3, 4, 5, correct? So that's not a big deal. We should know it also. So once we figured this out, we know from here that that is the triangle which we are referring to. So, so basically, what is sine of this particular value? So definitely we can see sine value is 8 over 17. So we can now write down the answer that sine of cot inverse 15 by 8 is same as sine of sine inverse of what? Sine is the ratio of opposite to hypotenuse, right? 8 over 70. And as you know, since this happens to be in quadrant 1, which is within the domain where the sine inverse is defined, so it should be equal to 8 over 70. Makes sense. So these are the simple steps to solve such problems. I hope that is absolutely clear. Welcome to your favorite YouTube channel where you understand complete concepts with excellent examples which you are looking forward to. We upload video almost daily as per your choice. Keep posting your request. Now here the question before us is sine of tan inverse half. So when we have function in inverse trigonometric functions, we should always start with inside out. Well, that strategy is standard for any function or function. Now tan inverse half. What do you understand by that? Tan inverse half gives us two things, and that is one, we are working in quadrant 1, it's a positive value, right? Second, a triangle where we are looking forward for the ratio of opposite to adjacent side as 1 over 2. Makes sense, right? So this is 1, this is 2. That is what we are looking for. And that is the angle theta. Perfect. So here you can see theta will be something which gives you half, right? Tan inverse of half. That is the angle theta. But we can now, knowing this triangle, also find the hypotenuse, which will be 2 square plus 1 square square root. 4 plus 1 is 5, so square root 5. So now, this particular function, which is tan of or sine of tan inverse half, can be written as sine of sine inverse what? Sine inverse what? That is the whole thing, right? So sine will be opposite to hypotenuse, so it will be 1 over square root 5. And therefore, the answer will be 1 over square root 5. Where some of you will write this as, after rationalization, square root 5 over 5. Makes sense. So that becomes the complete solution for the given expression. I hope the concept is absolutely clear. In case you really want to understand inverse trigonometric functions, you can follow my playlist link provided to you here in the comments. Complete lesson with hundreds of examples. That should help. Feel free to write your comments, share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your valuable time and all the best.